Look forward, so just check your posture, stood up, feet hip distance. Toes in a nice line, hips in that neutral position, and then just slide those arms down the back, just give them a little shake out. Good. And from there, let's just close the eyes. Let's just focus on that breathing for a moment. So breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the mouth. As you're breathing out, engaging that pelvic floor, pulling in those abs. So remember, it's always good to just focus on the body for a while. Thinking about that posture. Again, we do all get into bad postural habits, so it's a good idea to sort of start the class, just assess what you're doing with your shoulders, with your pelvis, the head. Trying to stand up nice and tall, keeps the chest open, helps with the breathing. Makes you feel better, makes you look better. And just focus on that breath. Yeah, next inhale, let's just bring the shoulders up. Exhale, just release back down. Last one. And then just relax it down. Just give those arms a little shake from side to side. Bring it back to the center. Let's just think about that neck now. So again, keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed, just looking over the shoulder, dropping that chin slightly. Shoulder, chest, shoulder, side. One last one, just bring it back to the center. Let's just take it into that little shoulder roll. Feeling those shoulder blades come together, slide down the back. So high blood pressure, stay with that. Otherwise, we can take it into those arm circles, taking it up and out. If you're okay taking the arms over the head, let's just hold that position. Let's just soften the knees. Maybe just take those palms together. And then just taking the arms slightly, so it's a little bit of a side bend from side to side. Again, high blood pressure, just keep the arms at the side of the body. Yeah, next time we take it to one side, don't worry which side, we're just going to lower that arm down and then bring it back up to meet the other. And just lowering that arm down, bringing it back up. Try and bring it up quite quick, but try to keep the body still. So keep the body still. When you bring it up, you should feel it in the obliques there. So bring that arm up quite quick, but keeping the body still, don't let the body rock. Trying to make sure you're using those core muscles. Yeah. One last one. Good. And then just bringing those arms down. Well done. Just give those arms a good little shake out. I'm just going to carry on doing work for the shoulders, but let's do it in a tandem stance, so at least we're starting to switch on our stabilizing muscles. So one foot can be directly in front of the other, or it can be slightly out to the side. So taking right hand behind the head, or can be behind the neck, or maybe reach down towards the shoulder blades. Try to make sure that elbow stays back though. So we can use the opposite hand, and we can just maybe encourage that hand down a little bit more, but again, we don't want to overdo it. So again, you can stay with this or engage the abs, and then we take it into a little side bend to the left hand side. Yeah. And then bringing it back to the center. Just shake those arms out, just swap the legs. Good. And then we're going to take that left hand behind the head again, maybe just encouraging it down, keeping that elbow back. Again, you might want to stay with that, or you might want to Squeeze the little side bend, taking it to the right hand side. Good, and then just bringing it back to the center, and then just giving those arms a good little shake out. Good, let's take ourselves back into that tandem. So again, just working those muscles. Let's just take the palms together and then take the elbows together. So it's a mid-back stretch. And then from there, we start to take the fingertips up towards the ceiling, keeping, let me do it this way, it's easier. Keeping the elbows together for as long as you can. When you can't keep them together any longer, we then open them out. So you're sort of targeting right between the shoulder blades there. Yeah. Yeah. And let's just do one last one. Yeah, and then just relax it down again. Just give those arms a good little shake out. Take them from side to side. One last little one. So again, swap feet. So we're just going to take it into our eagle arms that we would do in yoga, but we're going to do it from here. We're going to do it both sides. So let's just tuck the arms out in front, bend at the elbows, right over the left. Right over the left. Right hand goes behind the left. You may be able to get the palms together. You may be able to turn the thumbs towards the head. Don't worry where you get to. You will still get a stretch. And then we start to take the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Again, get a little stretch between the shoulder blades. Maybe just drop that chin slightly down. Good, and then just release, just give those arms a little shake out, and then we're just going to repeat the same thing on the opposite side. So again, bring those arms out, bending at the elbows. Now the left one goes over the right. The left one goes behind the right. Palms go together if you can, thumbs go towards the head. Again, don't worry where you get to, you'll still get a stretch. And then again, we can drop the chin slightly towards the chest and just bring those arms slightly up. Again, just getting that stretch right between the shoulder blades and the back of the neck as well. Good, and then just releasing it down. Well done. Just give those arms a good little shake out. Good, and then just bringing it back to the center. So let's just have the feet together. Try to make sure that you've got room either side of you. If you haven't got room both sides, you'll just have to keep stepping to the side that you've got the room. So from there, we're just going to go into a regular little squat to begin with. So little hip hinge, just sitting into that squat, pushing through the feet, bringing yourself up. So we're just starting with that regular little squat. Try to make sure that when you're doing it, we're not pushing it into the knees. We are sitting into that squat, pushing through the feet to bring yourself up. So next time when you come up, we are going to take those arms behind us. So you're getting that stretch, little ski arms. So we're sitting into that squat. As you're coming up, come up quite slowly and really push the feet. Remember, taking the arms behind us again, works the shoulders, works into the chest. Pushing it up nice and slowly. Taking the arms back. Good. Good. Okay, next time we come up, we can step out onto one foot, doesn't matter which foot it is, we're going to step it out, and then we are taking ourselves into a squat, into a little squat, and then we are bringing those arms over the head to the front, and then we step it back in. So we're going into that regular little squat, coming up, taking the arms into those ski arms, and then we step the opposite foot, take ourselves into a squat, bringing those arms over the head, out back to the front, and then pushing it back up. Yeah. Again, if you haven't got that range of movement in one shoulder, maybe just do the one arm. Yeah. Still do those ski arms. Remember taking those arms right behind you and taking them out. Pushing back in. Good. Let's just do one last one each side. We'll try and finish on the opposite side, depending where you are up to. Good. And then just bringing it back up. Well done. Just give those arms and legs good little shake out. Good. And then let's just take ourselves towards the back of the mat. So we're going to take ourselves into a few forward lunges. So feet about hip distance. Step foot on that right foot. So it's just not a massive lunge. So coming onto the back toes and then bending those knees, taking ourselves into that little lunge squat in between the two. Push through the feet, bring yourself back. Good. Okay, maybe starting to take the arms up and then pushing the arms back. And watch what's happening with that front knee. Make sure we're using those abs to help with that balance. Good. Okay, next time we take it into a lunge. We're just going to hold it there for a moment, and then we're going to think about that back leg, whichever leg it is. You are going to bring it right out in front. Circle the arms around, bring them back to the front. Step that foot back. We may as well do a little lunge on the way back. And then start again. Again, do your own variation if you wish. So again, taking that to the opposite foot, taking ourselves into that little lunge. And we can bring that leg out in front. We can bring those arms over. Hold that little balance, and then we can step it back into that lunge, push it back and start again. Again, if you want to miss a bit out, you miss a bit out. So if you don't want to do the leg lift today, you can give that a bit of a miss. Taking that, whoops, that leg out in front, holding that balance for a moment, taking it back, pushing through the feet. Good. Okay, the next time we bring one leg out in front, let's hold that balance. Don't worry which leg it is. I'm going to do both. Holding it there. Good, and then taking it back, holding that last little lunge. Good, pushing through the feet, and let's repeat on the opposite side. So again, taking it into that lunge, holding it there for a moment. Bringing that leg out in front, holding it. Good, and then stepping it back, taking it into that lunge, and then bringing it back to the starting position, and then just give your legs a little shake out. Well done. Okay, so from there, let's just take it into minute balance on each leg. So standing knees soft, spread the toes out if you are able. Use those abs. Good. And then from there, we can lift that leg. So try if you can to bring it knee in line with your hip. Or if you need the toes sort of lightly down or just hovering, that's fine. And we're going to try and hold it there. So by all means, use the arms, find a little point of focus. Louise, I can send you the recording of the 20 minutes you've missed, okay? Yeah. Good. Good 30 seconds gone. It's getting a bit easy this for you. We're going to have to start adding on to it. Don't start wobbling now. Good, we've got 15 seconds left. Standing you soft. Good. And then just relax it down, give the legs a little shake out. Well done. Just because I said it was going to add on to it, people start wobbling. Okay, let's just do the other leg, exactly the same thing. So again, setting yourself up, knee soft, spreading the toes out. Have to engage. Once you feel okay from there, let's lift that leg. Hold in that position. You could use the arms if you want to use the arms. Good. Always remember that standing knee stays soft. If you don't naturally engage the glutes of that standing leg, squeeze them, because that will also help with the balance. So we're using the glutes, we're using the muscles in the legs, you're using the feet, the ankles. It's good for strengthening everything up. And obviously great for your balance, get the signals to the right muscles. So when you start to wobble a little, brain automatically should send messages to the muscles to stabilize us. I'm not quite sure what time we started. I'll go on how people are wobbling as to when we get to a minute. Don't start. Dramatic. Yeah, I reckon that's probably about it. Feels it in my leg. Well done. Relax it down. Give the legs a little shake out. Good. Let's just bring the feet to hip distance. Let's just take it into a little calf raise. So we're just coming up onto the toes. Slowly releasing it down. Let's use the arms as well. So let the arms float up, float down. Good. So next time we take it into that little calf raise, we're just adding on this little spine twist. You're going to take that hand to the side pocket. We're going to feel the rib cage rotate a little. And then bring it back. Relax the heels down. So right up onto the toes. Opposite hand to the side pocket. So when we do these side pockets, we want to try and feel the rib cage. So it's not just sort of we're taking the hand to the side pocket and then we turn the head. We want to feel the rib cage rotate. If you have got osteoporosis, osteopenia, when you do your side pocket, you can move the hips as well. But for everyone else, try and keep your hip bones facing forward so you're targeting the waist. Good. Again, this is great for strengthening the feet, strengthening the ankles, again, which will all help with the balance. Use those core muscles as well. Yeah. Okay, next time we take it into that calf raise, take the hand to the side pocket. Let's hold it there. Good. Bring it back down. Let's repeat on the opposite side. Take it into that little hold if we can. Again, if you need to stay looking forward, that's fine. In that position. Yeah, and bringing it back down, just relaxing it down, just give those legs a good little shake out. And then bring ourselves to the back of the mat. So regular little roll downs. Feet hip distance, shoulders nice and relaxed. We drop the chin slightly towards the chest and then we imagine we're peeling away from that imaginary wall. So head, neck, shoulders. So we can sort of slide the hands sort of more or less to the knees and then come back up. Abs are engaged, stack those vertebrae back on top of each other. So that head comes up last, so you come up nice and tall. So any problems, low back, osteoporosis, problems with your blood pressure, I would recommend you just stay with that partial. Otherwise, if you do want to take it into that full roll down, you can start to take it into that roll down. Keep the knees soft, keep the abs engaged as you start to roll it back up. Remember to always come up slowly. The more you can stack those vertebrae back onto each other, the more flexible the spine will be. So that is the idea of this. It's that segmental control like we would use in the bridge. Yeah. And then next time we take it into our little roll down. As we're coming down, we can all do the same thing. You can start to bend the knees, place the hands down, and of course we're going to walk forward into our first plank. Good. So abs are engaged, glutes are engaged. I'm going to hold that position again. If that's too strong for you today, just drop one knee lightly down. Hold that position. Yeah, just drop the knees down. Let's just take ourselves into a shoulder stretch. Toes together, knees can be wide. Okay, so we're going to go into planks again. So we're going to go high plank, low plank, high plank, low plank. Again, we can modify it if we wish. So we can start off going into our regular plank. So I'll just show you quick. So we'll be in our regular plank position. We're going to make sure the abs, the glutes are engaged. And then we are going to lower ourselves down into that low plank. That's the easier part. The harder part is coming back up. Try to make sure that when you're doing it, the bum does not start sticking up into the air. You've got to stay in that plank position so your abs, your glutes are engaged. Again, if you don't want to come up and down, don't worry. If you just want to take yourself into a regular plank or even with a knee down, you do that. So taking ourselves into that plank. Lowering ourselves down to our forearm. Keep that belly button pulled right in. Make sure that we haven't left that bum behind. Yeah. Okay, if you are doing that, okay, you're coming up. When you come up after the next one, try and start on the other hand. You'll automatically kind of go to the stronger arm. Try and do it when you come up. Try and come up onto the weaker. As you're doing it, same on the way down. Try and change it so you're working not always on the stronger side. Again, when you've had enough, shoulder stretch. Again, watch that bum staying behind with a couple of you. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. And then after the next one, let's just take ourselves into our shoulder stretch. Just take those arms to the side of the body now, just to give the wrists a little rest. And let's bring ourselves up. So we always need to do our cat. So let's do our cat. Let's do it on forearms. Seems we've just worked on the hands. So let's just lower ourselves down onto our forearms. Just so we're not taking any pressure onto the wrist anymore. Okay, from there, as usual, just tucking our tailbone under, bringing it back to the center, taking it the opposite way. Again, it's different than when you would do it in yoga. We are concentrating really on that pelvic tilt. So we're concentrating on that lower back rather than taking it into the shoulders. Concentrate on that lower back, getting that extension, flexion as much as we can. Yeah. Yeah, last one up and down. Bring it back to the center, take yourself back into your shoulder stretch. Yeah, and then let's lower ourselves down onto our front. So we are going to go into a little glute squeeze, but then we're going to take ourselves into a little back bend, but I'm going to be talking you through it, so don't worry. So let's take the arms into our capital E shape. So elbows more or less in line with your shoulders. You can pop something under the forehead if you wish. Check your shoulders are nice and relaxed. Again, you always need to check your positioning before you start an exercise. So from there, just taking a breath in as we are breathing out, just going to start pressing lightly into the forearms, head, breastbone, lifts off the mat a little, and then we relax it down. So we're just going to do a couple of those. So it's not about pressing really hard into the mat, pushing yourself up, because all you're doing is working into the shoulders. Try to think, slide the shoulder blades down the back and peel away from the mat, again, to get that mobility in the spine. Good. And then just relax it down, just have your forehead onto the hands, just have a little rock. Good. And then just relax the legs down. So let's now just have the forehead resting onto the hands. So we're going to do our back bend from that position. Let's have the toes tucked under as well. So let's just start off by squeezing the glutes. So squeezing both bum cheeks together at the same time. So just think when you squeeze them, it's the one side that kind of starts the movement. Try to squeeze them both. As you squeeze them both, those knees come off the mat. So it's a little glute bracing, and then relax it down. So squeezing the glutes together, knees come off the mat, and then we relax it down. Good. And last one, just relax it down, and then we're going to bring those two moves together. So let's keep the forehead onto the hands. We could stay with that. So we're just going to start off taking it into our little back bend. So taking a breath in, as we are breathing out, we can keep the forehead onto the hands, but we can lift the arms, or if you prefer to have the hands down, you can press into that way. As you come down, tuck the toes under, squeeze the glutes, lift those knees. And then relax the knees down, relax the feet down, relax the glutes, go back into that back bend. So we're trying to use the glutes on one part, and then when we do that extension in the spine, we're trying to keep the glutes relaxed. It is very hard to keep them relaxed. Don't worry if they engage, that's not going to do anything. It's just trying to get you to sort of work the muscles in the back when you're doing it, rather than the glutes doing the work. Yeah, maybe you want to join those two together. So next time you tuck the toes under, squeeze the glutes together. Maybe you want to take yourself into that little back bend as well. Again, your glutes will activate now, and hold that position. Yeah, and then just relax it down, bend those legs. So when we have those legs bent, take the knees as wide as the mat, and then just let the legs sort of drop from side to side, little windscreen wipers. Nice little, if you get to, sorry, I'm laughing, I'm just watching Helen's dog. It's actually on her back, but she is doing this. Oh, that's brilliant. I need to screenshot that. That's excellent. Good, got it. I'll send it to you, Helen. Good, and then just relax it down. Just take those hands next to the shoulders, toes tucked under, take a breath in as you breathe out. Push yourself up. And then take yourself into your little shell stretch. Yeah, and then bring yourself back up. Let's just bring ourselves straight into seated. So sit nice and tall, shoulders nice and relaxed. Good. Back's nice and straight. So from there, let's go onto our toes. If you feel like you're going to cramp, just place the feet down. So if you feel you're going to cramp by having in that position, we could stay with that. So let's just lift one leg. Let's just take ourselves into a little balance point there. Again, I'm cramping, so I'm probably not going to have the toes point. The abs pulled in. Make sure you haven't sunk into that back. Good. Relax it down. Let's swap to the opposite side. So again, keep the abs pulled in. Again, you can be on the toes, holding that position. This is one level you can work at. Just keep the abs pulled in. Again, it's very easy to hold that position and not pull the abs in. We're trying to pull the abs in so the spine's really nice and straight. Good. Just relax it down. Just take those hands towards your feet. Good. And then we're going to bring ourselves up. So we're going to stay in seated. We're going to take the hands behind us. So hands behind us. Try to relax the shoulders. Good. Again, we're trying to keep the spine nice and straight. We're coming onto the toes, and then we are going to lift one leg. Again, if you need to take that other foot a little bit further out, you can do. And then from there, we're just going to take it into a little toe tap and then lift it up. And taking it down and up. So again, if you don't want to be on the toes of that other foot, especially if you feel you're going to cramp. So staying on the same leg, we're just lifting it up and down, making sure that as we're doing it, we're not sinking into that back. We've got the abs pulled in. Again, if this does not feel comfortable for your back, I would just go into a little pelvic tilt instead. So staying on the same leg. So you're working the leg, but you're working the abs as well. Good. Try not to sort of take too much weight onto the hands so it's uncomfortable. Good. The abs pulled in. Next one, as you lift that leg, we're going to take it into a tiny little pulse. Good. And then just relax it down. You might want to straighten the legs, give them a little shake out. And then we're going to repeat on the opposite side. So again, coming back up. Again, coming onto the toes, if you're okay with that. We're lifting the opposite leg. And we're just bringing it in. And then taking it back down into that little toe tap. Keep the abs pulled in so there's no pressure on your back whatsoever. Yeah. As you're lifting that leg, try and bring the knee in a little towards you so you're really feeling it on the quads there. Yeah, keep those abs pulled in. Next time we lift, hold it there. We're just taking it into a tiny little pulse. So you're just bringing that knee in slightly. Again, if you've had enough, you stop. Keep the abs pulled in. Well done. Just relax it down. Again, you might want to straighten the legs. Give the legs a little shake out. Good. And then from there, let's just lower off. Well, let's just do a few pelvic tilts and then we'll lower ourselves down. So just sit up nice and tall. Little pelvic tilt. Such an important exercise. Tucking that tailbone under. Especially if you have lower back problems. Pelvic tilt, whether it be from standing, seated, lying down, cat, is so important just to loosen up. Again, doesn't have to be a great big movement. Yeah. Good. Last one. And then we're just going to take ourselves down onto our back. So we could just bring those arms out in front. Take ourselves into that little pelvic tilt, into that little C curve. Again, if you've got back problems, osteoporosis, you now lower yourself down onto your elbows. Otherwise, let's control it on the way down. Good. Once you're down, full body stretch. Good. And then just releasing, bring those knees in and just have a little rock on that spine. Maybe just circle the knees around. Change directions. Again, you've got back problems, low back problems, just a little rocking on the spine is so nice. Good, and then just bring it back to the center. So let's have the feet down. So feet to hip distance. We want to make sure we're in neutral position. You can have something under the head if you wish. So taking a breath in as we are breathing out, we are bringing our leg into that tabletop position, making sure that as we do that, we stay in neutral. And then we're going to place it down, swap to the opposite side. So lifting that leg, staying in neutral. Good, so we can stay with that knee fold. Now we can take the arms behind us. Make sure when we take the arms behind us, the back can stay in neutral. Make sure it doesn't start up to arch. And then as we lift that leg to that knee fold, we can bring the arms over to the side of the body, and then we can take it into that lengthening. So you're lengthening the fingertips forward as you're pulling the abs in, or if you're okay to lift the head, you can take it into your little curl. And as we place that foot down, we take the arms back behind us. So bringing that leg to tabletop as you've got the abs pulled in works into the lower abs. And then as you bring the arms over, you're working more into the upper. So you're working a good area of those abs when you're doing this. Again, we just want to make sure that as we're doing it, we don't get into that habit of pushing the abs out as we come up. See people in gyms doing that all the time. They're made up, they can do 150 sit-ups, but 150 sit-ups where they're pushing the abs out. Good, so if you're okay with that, maybe next time we have the leg straight. So we're bringing that leg in, and then we can take ourselves into our curl that way. And then we can place it down and do the same thing on the opposite side. Again, don't worry if your back goes into imprint when you're doing that, that's fine, as long as it doesn't go into an arch. So either in neutral or into that imprinted position. Again, you can stay with the head down, stay with that lengthening. Just make sure you're bringing that leg in a little when you're doing it, when you're lengthening, again, just so it gets the bottom part of the abs. Good, let's just do one last one each side. Good, and then just bring those knees in towards the chest. Well done, little rock. Maybe just let that head roll from side to side. And then we've got legs tabletop, so let's go straight into our single leg stretch. So holding behind one leg, straightening the opposite leg again. We've got the choice of taking that foot up towards the ceiling, or you could have it slightly lowered. Abs are engaged. Again, head can be lifted if you are okay with that. Abs pull in, maybe add on that resistance. So as that leg comes in, press and resist. Yeah. One last one each way. Good. And then just bring those knees in. Just have a little rock from side to side. Well done. Let's just do a little hamstring stretch just before we go into a bridge. So if you've got a belt handy, grab hold of the belt. If you haven't got one handy, just hold behind the legs because we're only going to hold it for a moment. Again, just try and go into bridge, into a hamstring stretch before we do a bridge, basically to stop you cramping. So flex those feet when you're in that hamstring stretch. You can really feel it on the back of the legs. And then just release, bring those knees in, have a little rock. And then let's just finish off in our bridge position. So let's check that starting position. Anything big under the head, take it away. Shoulders nice and relaxed. Start from neutral, tilt that pelvis, go into imprint, and slowly start to peel away from that. Mat and knees are going forward. Make sure that we're using those glutes so the muscles in the bum stay engaged the whole way up, the whole way down. You help with that control. And then once they're down, you can just relax them for a moment before you go into that next bridge. And one last one, where we just hold that position. You can take those arms up towards the ceiling. And always make sure when you're in that bridge position, the weight's on the shoulders, so it's not sort of, yes, the head's touching, but try not to make sure you're not taking any pressure onto that head really, and so you're not putting any pressure onto the neck. And then maybe keep the arms there, bring that last bridge down with control, keep the glutes engaged. Good, and then once down, just bring those knees in, just have a little rock from side to side, or circle around, whatever feels good. And then we could just finish in a seated position, so you could roll onto one side, or you can rock yourself forward. Just find any comfortable seated or standing position. Just sitting up nice and tall, shoulders nice and relaxed. Let's just take those arms out to the side. Inhale and exhale. Good. Good, and last one. And then just bring those palms together, just bring those hands down towards your heart. Thank you very much, well done.